Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Hi, thanks for joining me again one more time for another video. We are going to go over cells. Everybody keeps asking me, how do I get cells? How do I get cells? Well, guess what? There's many different ways you can get cells. This episode is going to be part 1 of 2, and this one's going to be cells without additives. We don't want to add silicone. We don't want to add anything else to create cells. I'm going to show you some ways to get cells with strictly using paint and your pouring mediums. Okay, so one of the things that I go through whenever I'm looking at cell action is what I call the Cali Method. One second here, let me mute my phone. I was in the process of doing that and forgot what I was doing. Okay, the Cali Method. All right, C-A-L-I, Cali. Now, for the C, that's going to be color. Let me use a different color. Now, the colors that we choose are going to create cell action because of the weight of the pigments in the paint. And as we pour them onto the medium, how they interact with each other in varying layers on the canvas or in your cup, depending on if you're doing a flip cup, a dirty pour or a straight pour, anything like that. Depending on how you stack your layers, and in my previous video you can watch, I explained that. But depending on how you stack your layers depends on how you get cell action, because the lighter paint will flow up through the heavier paint as it's sinking down in the different layers on your canvas. Okay, so that's how a good way we can get cells in that manner. So that's why we use, in the Shelly blues, we use like a titanium white, or for swipes or things like that, we use a heavier paint over the top of your lighter paints so that it sinks, giving us the cell action that we're looking for. Your metallics are very good heavier paints that work for swipes and things like that, and that gives you good cells. Okay. So we know that colors will do that. What's the next thing? Application. Okay? Application of the paint on your canvas. How we put it on there. And that is in direct correlation with color, because how we put the colors on the canvas is what's going to give our cells. So if we want a lot of cells, we're going to put our heavier paints on top so that they will sink through, and causing the other layers to gradually rise up through the heavier paint, grabbing that paint as it's coming up, and then when it comes to the top, it gives you these beautiful cells with these halo effects around them. And that right there, the application of the way we put the paint on the canvas, is how we get, another reason how we get the good cell action. Okay, layers. And all these tie in together. How we layer it, that is very important. The color, how we put it on, how we layer it, all these tie in together to create cells, to create that look that we're looking for. And the last thing is, this is actually 2-part. It's interference and iridescent. Okay, interference and iridescent paints are different. Okay, the main difference between the iridescent and interference colors is interference colors are more like a color flip. They're going to be like your color shifting. They're more of a transparent kind of look. So when you're mixing that with more of your opaque paints, they're going to want to like give you that wispy, cloudy edges on the sides. They're going to show the colors underneath. So if those are on the bottom as they're rising up, they may cause a few smaller cells in themselves. Iridescent paints, they're more solid in color, and those are the ones like your metallic paints. There's a lot of iridescent main colors too, your iridescent reds, iridescent blues, greens, things like that. They will be like I said, I use the copper a lot in my swipes, and those work well for creating cells. I don't have to add any additives to it. The metallics are usually good for creating cells in themselves. So, if you want the color to be transparent so you can see the other colors underneath, to create a different effect, like if you have yellow over a blue, it's going to create a green haze in between them, then you're going to want to use interference colors. Whereas if you want the more solid, bold colors to separate each of your colors like that, you're going to want to go with the iridescent colors. And that's the main difference between those two. Okay, so in that, excuse me, one second. It's been raining off and on, and these allergens over here have got my sinus pressure all messed up. Okay, so most paints consist of, it's broken down into 2/3 parts. 1/3 is your pigments. The other 2/3 is listed as the 4 components that are in there are your pigments, your binders, the liquids, whether they add a little bit of water to it or whatever liquid that they're using, and additives. Those are the 4 things that create the other 2/3 of your paint that make this. So when you're looking at layering and things like that, the only difference is that you're really going to find in your paints is the density of your pigments. So pay attention to the video that I have in front of this one for paint densities, and that will explain it a lot more. Okay, so Cali, there it is. Color, application, layer, interference, and iridescent colors. Those are the things that are going to give you cells without using additives such as silicone, such as dish soap, alcohol, WD-40, Rain-X, any of those things. That's going to be in my next video. So, all right, thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to post another video here very shortly about creating cells with additives, like I said, and I'm going to show a couple different variations of what you can get with that. So thanks for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications so you can get notified of the next upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and pour on.